LEANNE SportsZone Saturday starts now.
Sioux Falls' magical run continues at the Little League World Series. College football kicks off its season this week, plus we preview tonight's Dakota Bowl. Welcome to SportsZone Saturday. I'm Sean Bauer alongside Tanner Castora.
Sioux Falls earned a narrow 1-0 victory over California Wednesday at the Little League World Series, as they're just one of 4 teams still competing in Williamsport. KELOLAND's Grant Sweeter caught up with the team ahead of today's semifinal matchup.
Sioux Falls struck first against California as Noah Kenzie delivered his second RBI of the tournament in the first inning.
I knew that if we could get a hit, somewhere there, that I was going to try to push that envelope and, try to get him to the plate. And, Noah did just enough to, sneak that through the infield. And Boston had great instincts and ran really well to, score that one run.
Ace pitcher GAVIN WEIR had a no-hitter through 5 2/3 innings when Coach Gorsett came to talk to him about his pitch count.
I thought he was taking me out. I really wanted to stay in. I knew I could finish it off with these 4 outs. He told me just to go win a ball game. The whole world wants to see me pitch on Sunday, but we got to win this game first to get there.
He was looking at pitch counts and he was wondering and different stuff, and I just wanted him to really focus at that point on the on the task at hand, which was the next hitter.
WEIR would strike out the last 4 hitters of the game to complete the no-hitter.
No team has ever thrown 2 no-hitters at the World Series, and he's thrown 2 of them himself, and we were 1 pitch away from having a 3rd one, in Maddox, dealing the other day.
Despite striking out 14 of a possible 18 batters, it was the South Dakota defense that helped WEIR.
I have 100% confidence in my team. They're great defense, great teammates. They can field the ball, hit the ball. They give me all the run support I need. They try their hardest no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing.
We have to make plays behind him. We have to figure out how to score runs. And we've just done that time and time again. And this team is it's a special group.
Sioux Falls is now headed to the semifinals, which means they will be one of the final 4 teams left in this year's tournament.
I'd be lying if I told you that I thought we could be a top 4 team in the country. When I look back on it now, I think I'm a fool for not thinking it probably earlier.
South Dakota is now 3-0 in tournament play, and a lot of that success can be credited to the fun they have on and off the field.
I get nervous doing an interview like this, right? These kids have 50 cameras on them, and these kids are like, oh, that's awesome. When's the pool? It's just amazing to watch, how they're taking this all in.
We just want to go out there and have fun. We want to play hard but have fun ultimately and make this a memory and a moment that we want to have for life.
The strategy is simple now for Sioux Falls. If they win 2 games, they'll be the Little League World Series champions.
I do think we can win. We got to work hard. Don't worry to make mistakes. Keep the main thing. Just focus on 1 inning at one time. Don't worry about anything else but the game that we're in.
Grant Sweeter, KELOLAND Sports.
We'll have coverage online from their game today, plus highlights on KELOLAND News tonight.
Well, USD's spring football season was shortened due to the pandemic, but with a fresh start this fall, USD is excited about the team they have returning and hopes an experienced defense will help the Coyotes bounce back from a disappointing spring. As USD gets set for its season opener on Friday, there's been a different kind of tempo during fall camp.
I think the one thing that's been far different this preseason is the fact, because we played and had a lot more practices in the spring than we typically have had, you're able to hit fall camp running.
The Coyotes return every defensive starter from the spring and have a talented linebacking core, which provides them with the ability to feature different looks.
We're a multiple front sort of team. We run multiple coverages. We like to mix it up. Get some guys in different positions who are with some pretty versatile players who can do a lot of things. So I think our scheme matches up with our skill set really well. So
stopping the run has been a priority this offseason after USD gave up nearly 220 yards on the ground in the spring.
Thing in our league right now is you got to be able to stop the run. And so we've worked really hard here through the off season, and it's been a big point of emphasis so far as we've started preseason camp and, focusing on shoring up our rush defense.
If USD's defense can continue to improve, The Coyotes are hopeful they can compete for a playoff spot.
I want to win. I mean, it sounds simple, but everyone plays this game to win games, and you know, I think just doing whatever it takes to meet our goals and get to that top level is something I want to see get done here, you know, for our team and for this community and for the whole university.
The Coyotes open their season on September 3rd at Kansas. Kickoff is set for 7 o'clock.
The SDSU offense may not get all of the spotlight, but the Jackrabbit defense was one of the country's best last spring. And with nearly the entire unit back, they're expected to be a strength once again.
The 2021 SDSU Jackrabbits defense will feature an array of different looks.
They're going to see a lot of variety. They're going to see an odd front, an even front. They're going to see us blitz. They're going to see us fake blitz. They're going to see zone, man-to-man. I'm a defensive coach. I couldn't coach all the stuff our guys coach, and so I'm glad I'm the head coach, but our players can handle it, so we do it.
10 of the 11 guys are back from last year's team, everyone besides Preston Tetzloff. So that makes it really easy on the first team defense. I mean, we've played with each other. We just played 10 games together. So we got that cohesiveness on the defense. And those guys are very intelligent people. They already know the playbook, so we can just fly around and have fun.
With so much talent on both sides of the ball, the offensive line, better known as the Hogs, has helped shape the Jacks' defensive front four.
Those are my best friends. The Hogs are my best friends. The Hogs are Caleb's best friends, Stacker's best friends. I mean, honestly, it's just a good environment because we know each side has to make each other better.
We have the best D-line in the country. All those guys, they've been flying around and making a lot of plays, and you can tell every day they come to practice with a very high energy, and that helps the offense to stay motivated too.
While the Jacks defense does have many leaders across the board, there may be none more prominent and paramount than starting linebacker Logan Backus.
Number one, he's a great playmaker. He's always around the ball. If there's an interception to be snagged by somebody, he'll be the guy that gets it. But then his leadership and his confidence and his knowledge of the football game is so impressive. I think there's guys in our program that say, I want to grow up to be Logan Backus.
The Jacks open their season this Friday at Colorado State.
Well, Augustana didn't get a chance to build on its 9-3 campaign from 2019 after last year's season was canceled, but the Vikings return plenty of talent from that team as they seek back-to-back playoff appearances. Practicing with a game on the horizon has been a welcomed sight for Augustana football.
You know, I think through this whole process there's been an attitude of gratitude amongst our players and some patience and also some hunger.
What the Vikings return on offense brings plenty of excitement, with the NSIC South Division preseason Offensive Player of the Year Kyle Sadler returning at quarterback.
Efficiency and consistency. You know, there's not a defense Kyle hasn't seen. There's not many looks that he hasn't gone through already. Now it's just being the consistent player he's capable of being.
Having starting experience at every position along the offensive line helps too.
It all starts up front, and those guys have been great. They work their tails off, and you know, I can't appreciate them more, and that's a big credit to Coach Bear too.
The Vikings return playmakers across all three levels from a defense that held opponents to less than 15 points per game in 2019, and its depth in the trenches could make it even more dominant.
To have 2 to 3 to 4 quality interior guys is good. We believe we have 5 or 6 right now that can get in rotation, led by Logan Swanson, who's, you know, an All-American and going to be a great player for us and everything else. But we got great depth behind Logan and around Logan, as well as the defensive end. You know, we believe we can go 5 deep, maybe even 6 deep at that position as well.
The Vikings will open their season at home next Saturday, and while it'll be a return to normal, it'll surely feel different than years past.
It's going to be super exciting, you know, for not only us, but for a lot of the fans, and I've already heard a lot of the parents talking about how they just want football back already. It's going to be really exciting to have everybody out here at KO for a great opportunity.
Augustana hosts Minot State for its season opener on September 4th. Kickoff is set for 1 o'clock.
Like Augie, USF is also coming off a 2019 playoff appearance, and as they seek their 5th postseason bid in 5 years, the Cougars will look to a new play caller under center.
It's been hard, it's been long, but it's been worth it.
After a full season lost, followed by months of agony, the USF Cougars will finally take the field for the first time in nearly 700 days.
We don't have to say go around here. These kids have come out for 2+ weeks now, and they're excited. They're still ready to play, and you know, having something taken away from you makes you appreciate it even more. They're a tight-knit group of guys that really genuinely care for each other. So all those things are great characteristics for us to have on game day, and we're going to rely upon them.
This is like the most rewarding time of the year for us. It's been 2 years since we had any rewards. It's been all hard work, no play. So this is beautiful. It's bliss to finally get out and play.
The Cougs' offensive attack will feature many familiar weapons like Thurl Reisdorfer, Ty Smith, and Ben Soka, but they'll have a new man running the show at quarterback in Adam Mullen.
He's a playmaker, calm, poised, collected, all times, and I feel like that's the presence you need in the backfield. You need somebody who's calm, not overthinking, not panicking, and that's exactly what Adam Mullen does.
The team will also feature a defense that gave up only 17 points a game back in 2019.
In our live scrimmages so far this year, we've tackled well. You know, that was a big thing. Can we knock off the rust and put our guys in position to finish plays? Oftentimes you don't get the chance to do that in practice, so I thought they did that well.
And while there's always going to be early season rust and jitters, September 2nd's matchup with Bemidji State may have a few more.
You know, it's going to be different this time, and we're going to have to temper that. We're going to have to get over that. We're going to have to get back to playing football right away and adjust. And first games are all about adjustments, and this one's going to be a big one because we, you know, everyone sat around and schemed and dialed in new players for 2 years, and it's going to be a true first game for sure.
In Sioux Falls, Tanner Castora, KELOLAND Sports.
USF opens the season Thursday night at home against Bemidji State.
And they're seeking their 5th playoff appearance in the last 6 years, not 5. Well, rivals O'Gorman and Roosevelt will meet in the Dakota Bowl tonight. We'll preview that matchup next. The 43rd annual Dakota Bowl returns tonight, and for the 2nd straight year, it'll be played at McEnany Field, and it'll feature Roosevelt against O'Gorman.
Roosevelt and Coach Kim Nelson are preparing for their first game of the season.
First game is you never feel like you're ready, you know, and I wish we had another month, you know, to prepare, but we don't. Everybody's in the same boat, but it's gone pretty well.
The Rough Riders will face O'Gorman in the Dakota Bowl on Saturday. When the two teams met in the same game last year, Roosevelt earned a 48-0 blowout win.
But I don't expect to jump out ahead like we did last year. I don't expect to get the breaks we got last year. It's going to be a completely different game. And so we need to be ready for 4 quarters of football.
Roosevelt has been forced to adjust this offseason as their overall numbers dropped more than 30 players from last year's roster due to the addition of the new Jefferson High School.
It's been an adjustment for our coaches and our players a little bit, but our players always seem to handle it really better than we do. And we've had a really good offseason. Our guys had a great summer in the weight room and at camps. And we're really excited to play a game finally.
Despite their drop in players, Roosevelt still returns plenty of talent, including 3 returning starters on the offensive line.
Hopefully it'll give our quarterback time to throw. It'll give our running backs room to run. We do have some talented running backs on our team and some pretty good skill guys that just don't have experience. So it's really nice to have, I think, have the ability to have some holes, maybe have some room to run. I hope I'm right about that.
O'Gorman is coming off a quarterfinal exit in the 11 AAA playoffs a year ago, and they'll have a tough test to open their 2021 season.
Coach Nelson and Roosevelt, always a perennial powerhouse in AAA football in South Dakota, and always well coached, and you know, great athleticism, and you're still going to see that this year. And their size, you know, we don't match up well up front, and you know, the good thing about playing great opponents is that, you know, they usually expose your weaknesses and expose where you really need to work on improving.
The Knights have been focusing on filling some of the gaps from last year's team, as they have just 3 returning starters on offense.
We got a lot of seniors that have really stepped up this year and have had great fall camps and great summers. So, I mean, we feel confident in the guys that, you know, are filling those spots. But, I mean, obviously, until you get on the field and play against real competition, it's really an unknown.
Unlike their offense, the OG defense returns 6 starters, including a solid core of linebackers and All-State defensive end David Alpers.
Our defense is going to have to play well and, you know, not give up 48 points like we did last year in the Dakota Bowl in order for us to be competitive, because we don't know if we can, you know, play games that are going to be shootout 30, 40-point wins for us.
Both teams will be starting a new man under center. O'Gorman's Bennett Dannenbrink and Roosevelt's Jackson Brower will each make their first starts as varsity quarterback.
Your quarterback, you just want him to feel comfortable. The more comfortable he is back there, the better he's going to perform, and that's going to be, I think, a true test for both of them. Roosevelt starting a sophomore, and us, a junior who hasn't been part of our program before this year. Two really inexperienced guys, so, whichever team kind of settles down first, obviously, is going to have the advantage.
In Sioux Falls, Grant Sweeter, KELOLAND Sports.
The Dakota Bowl kicks off at 7:30 tonight, and you can watch the game on KELOLAND.com with Grant Sweeter providing the play-by-play.
Well, USD Volleyball is looking to build off last year's NCAA tournament run. We'll hear from the Coyotes when we return. USD Volleyball qualified for its second NCAA tournament appearance in 3 years this past spring. If the Coyotes wish to make it 3 tourneys in 4 years, they'll have plenty of obstacles to overcome. When USD's volleyball season came to an end this past spring, the message to the players was simple.
With COVID, we weren't allowed to really go home at all. So, we didn't get to really hang out with our family at all. And I think, our coaches really emphasize on, go home, see your parents, enjoy time away from volleyball because, it was a short turnaround. Now USD is using some lessons from last year with how they're preparing.
So I'd say we backed off a little bit with our practices. I think that was probably a good lesson for us and something that we will continue moving forward. I think they've handled it well. We haven't had a bad practice. And I can tell you I haven't been able to say that in past years at this point in time in the season.
USD returns every player from last year's roster. They added 2 freshmen and a transfer this season, and team chemistry is already in early strength.
That definitely comes into play. We all know each other, and we've been playing with each other for a year now, and even the newcomers are meshing really well. So I think it's going really good, and I think it'll continue to get better.
Having a veteran squad back will be key as USD faces a daunting schedule that features 3 NCAA tournament teams from a year ago.
We've had a lot of success, but we don't feel like we've hit our ceiling. We feel like we can continue to take that next step, and that next step is, one of the main ones is obviously getting the NCAA tournament every year, but winning matches in the NCAA tournament. And when we look at that, we have to play high-level teams to put ourselves in a position to be ready for those opportunities.
USD will host its first ever Summit League tournament this year and hopes that home court advantage will lead to another NCAA tournament berth.
I think it's going to be an incredible opportunity. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed still. It's still the conference tournament. It's going to be high-level volleyball. But I do think that being at home is going to be beneficial.
Well, USD's matches this weekend were canceled. They'll return to action next week in Louisville for the Cardinal Classic. The Sanford International returns in just a few weeks. We'll take a closer look at this year's tournament up next. Professional golf returns to Sioux Falls in 3 weeks.
KELOLAND's Travis Fossing explains the buzz surrounding this year's Sanford International Tournament.
After months of uncertainty surrounding the future of the Sanford International, tournament organizers and the Minnehaha Country Club agreed to a 2-year extension in late June. Today, the deal is officially done.
Minnehaha has been a great partner. It's a wonderful golf course the players really do love. The last thing you want to do is start going someplace else. Players don't like that.
For a while there, it was looking a little dark for us. So we're fortunate that we were able to get back to the table with the Minnehaha Country Club, and we're grateful for the membership for letting us come back, because there's truly no other place like Minnehaha here in Sioux Falls.
Tournament director Josh Brewster says the Sanford International is a can't-miss stop among players and an event on the rise in every facet.
If you look at our corporate support, our ticket sales, our volunteer numbers, any metric you want, it's only going up. So that's why the mixture of the extension and everything is it just gives us more runway to just keep getting bigger and better each and every year.
The Sanford International extends beyond the 54-hole tournament. New this year, a country music concert at Great Shots featuring Sam Hunt and a children's walk.
We've got kids clinics that take place throughout the course of the week. We've got various foundation and donor-related events that we're raising money to help give back to very important philanthropic and charitable causes.
An event that can now keep giving back until at least 2024.
You just have to have a faith about things, and I had a faith that the right thing would ultimately prevail, and it did.
In Sioux Falls, Travis Fossing, KELOLAND News.
Sanford International runs from September 13th through the 19th at Minnehaha Country Club.
The Sioux Falls Marathon will be held tomorrow and is expected to have higher numbers this year. We'll have that story next. Local runners are lacing up their shoes for Sunday's Sioux Falls Marathon. KELOLAND's Travis Fossen explains why numbers are up and how you can make a difference.
1,800 runners are preparing to hit the pavement for the Sioux Falls Marathon.
Passion is out there. The people have been training all summer long.
More than 300 competitors will run the full 26.2 miles, a race that didn't happen last summer due to COVID-19.
In 2020, we still offered a truncated half marathon, and we capped that at 600 runners. So the fact that this year we're able to put on all 4 races, grow that number up to 1,800, given the circumstances we're still in, yeah, we're thrilled with that and excited to give our runners a real race to run on Sunday.
Lee says an event of this size depends on volunteers.
The water stops, the bag drop area, the start-finish line, the people who hand out the medals, the people at the expo helping us out. So without them, there would be no race.
Eva Goot is president of the Sioux Falls Area Running Club and one of 400 marathon volunteers. She works the bag drop area.
Runners, before they start running, come, they drop off water bottles, phones, jackets, whatever things they had with them that they might want after the race.
The support of spectators goes a long way in helping a runner cross the finish line. There are multiple viewing areas, including here at 6th and Phillips in downtown Sioux Falls.
Come mile 10, 12, maybe mile 2, people are going to need that boost. And it's fun for the runners to get that boost somewhere along the route. And you can do that downtown, Falls Park, Cherry Rock Park, Yankton Trail Park, even at Howard Woodfield at the start-finish.
Near the end of the marathon where you're feeling tired, you know you only have a few more miles to go, and it's awesome to see familiar faces cheering you on, people calling your name. Thomas has done a great job of getting more and more people out there cheering the runners on.
In Sioux Falls, Travis Fossen, KELOLAND News.
Sioux Falls Marathon is a qualifying race for next year's Boston Marathon.
We'll take a look ahead at next week's sports calendar when we return. Welcome back to SportsZone Saturday. Before we leave, let's take a look ahead to next week's sports calendar. Sunday, Sioux Falls Storm playing Arizona in the IFL playoffs. Teams split the regular season series kickoff at 5:05. Thursday, USF kicking its season off at home against Bemidji State. And then Friday, both USD and SDSU open their seasons on the road. Coyotes at Kansas at 7 o'clock. Jacks at Colorado State with an 8 o'clock Central kickoff Friday night.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of SportsZone Saturday.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.